Semi-final number 1 of 2 takes place tomorrow night as New Zealand face Argentina, both playing for a place in a Rugby World Cup final the following week. The stakes are high and hopefully that'll bring out the best in both teams, and for us neutrals, hopefully we get a good attacking brand of rugby and an entertaining match all in all. In this video, I've identified each team's 5 key routes to victory. Now these are 5 things in which I personally believe will give each of these two sides the best possible chance at coming away victorious and booking themselves a place in a Rugby World Cup final the following week. I'm going to start off with Argentina firstly. Point number 1 simply says Jackal, Jackal, Jackal. The All Blacks, especially in their pool game matches, they love to throw the ball around, they love to go wide to wide and play a really attractive fast ball brand of rugby. And as soon as they get this going, they are almost impossible to stop, as Italy found out, as well as Namibia. As soon as it gets going, the All Blacks machine is almost impossible to stop. So I think the breakdown, especially the Jackal threats that Argentina pose in Kremer, Issa, will be very important to try to slow down that ruck ball and stop the likes of the All Blacks outside backs of Ioane, Jordan and Talea getting their hands on the ball in so much space. When you play a fast brand of rugby, sometimes you can become isolated if a good tackle is made and the ball carrier is vulnerable and isolated. So potentially that's something that the Argentinians can latch onto. However, the All Blacks against Ireland, although they did play fast at some points in time, they resourced the breakdown so incredibly well. It really did eliminate any jackling threats that the Irish had. So maybe it's a difficult proposition to pull off, especially in such an intense atmosphere and against a very fired up All Black side. Point number 2 is the maul and maul variation. I think one of the few weaknesses the All Blacks do have, and maybe it's something that's no longer a weakness because they've worked on it that much, is probably the maul. We saw the Irish get some good momentum out of it, and it took an unbelievable try-saving tackle from Geordie Barrett to stop that ball getting over the whitewash. So maybe the maul's an area in which the Argentinians can really target. Point number 3, take the 3 points. When Argentina won over in New Zealand in 2022, one of the key points of difference for Argentina was the 3-pointers in which Emiliano Boffelli was securing. I believe the Argentinians scored like 25 points in that game with only 1 try, so 20 points from the boot of Emiliano Boffelli was essential. We saw against Wales he could kick it from 50 plus, and now look, if that's the option that Argentina have got and he manages to do that a couple of times, the All Blacks are going to then be very cautious, especially around the breakdown when around their halfway line or in their own half. So indirectly, the ability to take 3 points could almost open up some more attacking opportunities for Argentina. Point number 4, own the air. The All Blacks have got so many different abilities throughout their back line, so it's very difficult to try and pinpoint an area to exploit because they're such a complete team and are so phenomenal, hence why they're so high up in the world rankings. I think an area in which the Argentinians could potentially have the option to disrupt is by winning the air. When kicking the ball, you've got sort of 3 options really: kick to space, kick off the pitch, or kick to compete. When you kick to space, it often gives an opportunity for the defending side to catch that ball and run it back at you. And New Zealand have so many good attacking threats of Barrett, Talea, Jordan, and probably Mwanga in the backfield as well. You don't want to be kicking loose to them. If you kick the ball off the field, you completely concede possession, and with a brilliant line out the All Blacks possess, you're almost giving the ball away. So that leaves you with one other option, which is to go to the air. The Argentinians could use the likes of Matteo Carreras, Boffelli to try and get up, disrupt the ball, knock it back, all sorts of things to try and gain possession and field position that way. Me personally, I think in terms of kicking options, that could be the best and the one in which they could reap the most rewards out of. Point number 5, play in the right areas. The All Blacks especially showing some brilliant skills at the breakdown with likes of Sam Cane, Ardi Sarver and Shannon Frizzell in the last game. It's very difficult and it's very vulnerable playing from deep, especially against those jackal threats. So playing in the right areas, as I've sort of described with owning the air, is very important for Argentina, not playing from too deep, because if you do concede possession, the All Blacks are so clinical in that final third, and if they don't score a try, they most likely will come away with 3 points. So Argentina need to be very accurate in whatever activity and whatever strategy they choose, but ultimately I think exiting their own half via a box kick or Carreras or Boffelli, anyone with a decent boot, is going to be very important. Moving over to the All Blacks, physicality is point number 1. Sort of underpins every international rugby team really. But when Argentina have had success over New Zealand in recent times, they have almost lost, or at least not dominated, the physicality battle. The Argentinian back row with Kremer, Issa, Gonzalez is very physical. Look at Lavanini in there as well. They used to have what's his name? Moroni? No, what's his name? Matera, that's the guy they used to have. And I don't know what's up with him, whether he's injured, but was on the sidelines watching the last game. So winning the physicality battle is going to be so important for Argentina. So the All Blacks have to repel this. And when they have lost to Argentina, it's always been the physicality that's caught them out. The big back row of Argentina getting over the advantage line. So if the All Blacks really target this area, especially in the midfield, with the likes of Sinti and Chocobarez, you can't let them get on top of you. You have to use Barrett and Ioane to try and puncture that gain line and win that battle. Point number 2 is maul defence. As I sort of stated about Argentina, probably targeting the maul as an area to try and get some go forward and could be a try scoring potential weapon. The All Blacks will want to be very focused on repelling this. They've got some great line out threats, so maybe they choose to compete and win the line out instead of going down for the maul. But they've got to be very good at their timing. As soon as that Lavanini, for example, lands, get right on it, hit with some force and try and repel that maul. Point number 3, discipline. I mentioned it in the South Africa-England 5 keys to victory. Whenever you're a favourite in a match, especially a big favourite, they're expected to win by 18 points. So I think that classes them as a big favourite. You don't want to give teams easy ins to the game. Discipline, giving away penalties in silly areas such as like going off your feet or being just too slow to a ruck to clear out, giving away holding on penalties. They're very easy ways to let a team into the game and let a team like Argentina build their confidence. New Zealand ideally want to come so fast out the blocks Argentina don't see it coming, and Argentina start questioning their ability. They start questioning, do we really deserve to be in the semi-final? All of these mental blockers you can put in a team via starting fast and being very accurate. That can all be completely undone if you're not disciplined in your approach and give away penalties in which will let the likes of Milano Buffelli get into the game, start putting scoreboard pressure upon you. Point number 4, the breakdown. Similar to the physicality really. They have to be clinical here. The Argentinians will definitely come for their breakdown. I mean, I wouldn't expect wouldn't expect the All Blacks to be too concerned, considering they were phenomenal against Ireland there. But they have to make sure their level of emotional energy is on the point in which they can still execute the intensity required to win a semi-final. As I stated in my preview video, due to the fact they lost this semi-final against England last time out, I'm sure they'll be very switched on to make sure that doesn't happen again. Point number 5, earn the right to play. The All Blacks have such phenomenal outside backs that sometimes it can be too easy and sort of you just feel like because you've got so much talent, just chuck on the ball and see what they can do. I mean, sometimes they are that incredible that they can do that, but in this game, in any big game, semi-final, especially if they are to go on to the final, they want to make sure their processes are in place. This means going through the forwards, going through multi-phase before then going to the back line. I expect them to do this. They have done this so far, but it's a bad habit some teams can get in when they get complacent. Not saying the All Blacks are complacent, but there is a potential to slip into that. So earn the right to play to the width. Go through the forwards, use your big ball carriers, get Shannon Frizzell over the gain line before you then opt to go out to the wide expanses. Not only will it be more efficient and be sort of more physically imposing, it will also enable the outside backs to have more space, more time on the ball, because the line speed of a team in which is retreating and is being physically dominated is far, far less, enabling the outside backs to look good. The forwards always complain that they put in the hard work and the backs can sort of benefit upon their hard work, and that is pretty much simply the case. If the forwards are putting in the hard graft, getting over the gain line consistently, it makes the backs look very, very good because they've almost got double the time on the ball. It could literally be that drastic of a difference. So those are my 5 things for each team. Let me know if you agree or disagree in the comment section down below. Ultimately, Argentina are really, really up against it in this game. What do you think the Argentines could do to give them at least a foothold in this game and an opportunity to try and take it into the last quarter and come away with the victory? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Hope you enjoy the game, and as always, thank you very much for watching.